We have a 2000 Volkswagen Jetta. It's a 1.9 liter ALH, and the customer brought it to us for a low power problem. He says it's going into limp mode, and let's get some codes out of it and start the diagnostic process.
Okay, on this 2000 Jetta with the boost problem, I've already done an auto scan, so I'll just pull up the auto scan to show you the codes. And we have in the engine, we have two faults: glow plug heater circuit, which we're not going to be diagnosing in this video, and we have 17964 or P1556 charge pressure control negative deviation. Now obviously charge pressure control is the amount of boost the turbo is making in the intake manifold and the boost tubes. Negative deviation means it's less, negative meaning less, deviation meaning what is commanded. So it's less than what is commanded. A lot of people get confused by what this actually means, and that's what it means. We'll go drive the car and take a boost graph. Okay, we just got back from the road test on this Jetta, and we have our boost graph. And here's what boost looks like. Obviously, the computer is commanding this much boost, and our map sensor is only showing this much. Normally, this should come up here. I have a dozen other videos on boost problems that we discuss graphing boost, but boost should come up here like this, overshoot just a little bit, then come under control and stay relatively the same as the commanded, and it'll drop off here. Obviously, this isn't coming up fast enough. It isn't even meeting full desired boost, and so we definitely have a boost problem.
Now, when we have a boost graph like that and a boost problem, what we generally want to do is check for boost leaks. Now, a huge boost leak would result in no boost whatsoever. All the boost would be falling out of the boost pipes or intercooler or intake manifold and not be able to, and the turbo wouldn't be able to compensate for that boost leak and make no boost whatsoever. We did have some boost on this, so I'm not sure it's a boost leak or not. We'll take a quick look over on the car. We probably need to check the normal things with regards to the vacuum system. We'll do the output test on VAGCOM and check the vacuum system and the N75 and those types of things, and see if we find our problem that way. Okay, so right off the bat, I just grabbed this and wiggled it, and this clamp isn't entirely tight. Now, I'm giving it all my effort here, and I can't even pull that off. So I'm not sure if that's our problem. We can tighten that up and go for another drive and graph it again and see if that solves the problem. But I don't have much confidence since it's tight enough to where I can't even pull it off there. But we'll tighten that up and see if that's our problem. We'll also, right off the bat, we notice that this accordion tube between the mass airflow sensor and that heads down to feed air to the turbo has no clamp here and no clamp here. That won't make a boost leak. This isn't boost inside here, it's just ambient air, and I really doubt that that's any type of problem. FYI, this arrow is supposed to line up with that notch right there on the tube, so you always want to line that up like that when you clamp it. If it's not clamped, I guess who cares? Also, we see a lot of these that are turned around backwards, so pay attention to how you take it apart so you know how to put it back together. Also, obviously, I've noticed that the mass airflow sensor connector is broken, and but we'll probably do a smoke check maybe to see if there's any obvious boost leaks, and that smoke check might tell us if this is leaking or not, and then we will let's look it over underneath. But we did the output test, and we checked the actuator to make sure it moves, and we did a good visual on the boost tubes, and we did a good visual on the boost tubes. Somebody has put a screw in the bottom of the intercooler, probably to drain it. This clamp was not really in the right position. We repositioned it to make sure it don't pop off, but this has some unique stuff going on. The brake wear sensors folded over up there, not hooked to anything, and the CV boot clamp somebody's done a professional job of re-clamping that, but it does have some nice Bilstein shocks on it, and tie rods have been replaced. Control arm bushings have been updated to solid bushings from Audi TT. That's rather nice. But with regards to the boost problem, I haven't been able to find anything. Our vacuum checks come up empty. Our vacuum checks have come up empty. Our smoke tests for boost leaks have come up empty. And the visual inspection for boost leaks has come up empty. So I guess we're going to have to drive this again.
Go ahead and go. Just when you get into second, do wide open throttle. Okay, let up. Okay, pull over. So what we're seeing here is still we got the computer commanding this much boost, and boost only comes up to this area right here. So obviously that's not right. Maybe I should have done this on the first road test also, but very rarely do I find problems with the mass airflow sensor. But we need to look at the mass airflow sensor to see if it's working. So I will escape out of this. I'm going to go ahead and hit done, go back and go back in so I can graph again. And then we hit field 3. And then we'll graph that. And I'm going to turn off these other ones that we're really not using. And go ahead and do the same thing again, Bob. Just get it started in first and then floor it in second. And I think that's pretty clear cut. I'm going to pause that. Go ahead and head back to the shop. Okay, this obviously is not the right airflow. I didn't record it on our test drive, but when we rev the engine, it barely even moved up. Now, this was as we were accelerating, so it did move up some, but something's going on with the mass airflow sensor. And if you understand what it takes to make boost, it takes fuel and RPM, and the main sensor that allows the computer to determine how much fuel to inject is the mass airflow sensor on these cars. And so if it's only seeing this much airflow, it's only going to inject this much fuel. Now, it should see this much airflow. That's what the computer's expecting, but it only sees this much airflow, so it's injecting way less fuel than it should. So if it doesn't have enough fuel, then the combustion process doesn't really go bang, and that combustion process doesn't really push the vanes of the turbo. It doesn't really push the vanes of the turbo hard enough to really make the turbo spin to make boost. That's why I say it takes fuel and RPM to make boost. So we really need to figure out why this right here is this way. It's really hard to diagnose a mass airflow sensor on a Volkswagen. I think the quickest thing for us to do in this situation is, I own one of these cars. I'm just going to take the mass airflow sensor off my car and swap it in there. We got a lot of pressure from the customer in order to get this car diagnosed, and a few other cars also. We really need to get this thing diagnosed quickly. So we're just going to swap in another mass airflow sensor and see how it drives at that point.
Did you see anything in there?
No, I didn't.
When you before you go back together, why don't you find some clamps for right there, since those are missing?
I'm one step ahead of you, boss. Found some clamps, and there was a screw missing, so I found one of those as well.
All right, great.
Just so you know, for full disclosure, we pulled apart the snow screen, and the snow screen was a little bit blocked. And then afterwards, we drove the car, and it didn't change anything at all. So now we have put the mass airflow sensor on it from my Blue Lagoon car, and we're going to go drive it and see how it boosts, see how the mass airflow sensor graph works. But right now, we'll just rev the engine in the bay and see if the mass airflow sensor changes with airflow with RPM. The other one just barely changed at all. I don't know if I showed that or not. So there's our mass airflow sensor reading. We'll go ahead and graph it. And Bob, if you could rev the engine, please. Well, that's definitely fluctuating more than it was before. Oh, that's better. Easy, buddy. Slow down, slow down. Coast. Put it in second. Take your foot off the brake, or off the clutch, and floor it. Okay, let up. Okay, pull over. Okay, in this situation, we have much better airflow. As Bob is flooring it here, airflow goes up to about approximately desired, and it kind of stays that way as it accelerates, and then it backs off the throttle. It backs off as he backs off the throttle right here. So this may be the entire fix. We'll go ahead and switch over to Boost, and we'll graph Boost and see how it shows. Okay, we're going to switch over to graph Boost. So we'll done go back, because you can't graph 2 times in the same session. And then we'll go to field 11, hit go, and that gives us our boost, and then we'll hit graph. And then I'll put it over here into the viewing area. And we'll go drive it. Coast, put it in second, coast, and floor it. I'm not liking that very much. Might as well go in the car wash and I'll finish up the commentary here. And then... Okay, just so you know, we are graphing Boost here. This is not graphing mass airflow. Boost comes up really quickly. Within like 2 graticules, it's already up to about here. So that's good Boost. The only thing I don't like here is it seems to overboost this entire time. And of course, at this point, we're redlining the engine and he has to back out of the throttle. Not necessarily redlining the engine, but it's racing too fast. And so we choose to back out of the throttle right there. This may be an overboost condition that may result in an overboost trouble code. But what we do have is we now have the car boosting. At this point, I think the mass airflow sensor is fixing the most major problem here, and that it's not showing any airflow increase during a wide open throttle or a hard acceleration event. And so therefore it doesn't inject enough fuel, so it doesn't make boost. I'm going to call this a fixed car, and we're going to recommend a mass airflow sensor to the customer. Since I've already put a known good mass airflow sensor on there, I don't feel the need to show any more video of this project, but we are going to sell the customer a new mass airflow sensor and put it on the car for them. And if it continues to overboost like this, maybe it'll be the subject of another video, but I have other videos on overboost conditions on this engine, so maybe not. If you like this video, click the like button. If you like this video, click the like button. And if you want to donate to the continued production of these videos, you can visit my website at www.kansascitytdi.com and find the donate icon there. Also, YouTube seems to have the donate through YouTube button activated on my account now. So if you want to do that, that's fine too. If you want to watch some more of my videos, click right there, or maybe right there. And don't forget to subscribe right there. Thanks for watching.